We uprooted all of our animals and we brought our wildlife conservation center here to Garfield. We found a wonderful location that we fell in love with. We signed a 4-year lease with the initial landlord, Erwin Gassner, and he promised us basically a forever home. And we looked at him and we said, we don't want to leave. You know, this is what we were looking for. It was perfect, and everything has been great, and the community has embraced us, and we've embraced the community, and we feel that our little mini zoo and wildlife education center is the perfect mix of a family-friendly, destination, and also the perfect mix of weirdness that goes along with some of the things, you know, that Garfield is famous for. You know, we have a lot of unique things. I didn't mean to use the word weird. I meant unique. And what has happened to us was basically in December, I was told we were offered another 5-year lease extension, but I wanted to have my lawyer look at it. So I gave it to my lawyer. She found some things that were obviously pretty not in my favor. So I did not sign the lease. My lease was not up until April, to which Mr. Gassner, my old landlord, had said, well, I need 6 months to know that if you're staying or not. And I told him, I'm staying. I just need my lawyer to overlook this new lease to make sure that everything is in order. A few weeks later, I got a call saying, well, I need to let you know that in light of current events, I can no longer offer you a 5-year lease. I can only offer you a 1-year extension as we have sold the properties. So, in all the time that we had been discussing the lease and going through, he sent me actually a copy of the lease promising us a 5-year extension with his signature on it. The only thing it didn't have was our signature. And we were just waiting for my lawyer to be okay with everything that we went back and forth with all the amendments and everything. All the while, we were putting thousands of dollars into the basement of this building because the lower level is approved to be open to the public. So we would have doubled our capacity, and we would have doubled our space, not only for humans, but for the animals' exhibits. We have animals that are endangered species. We have animals that are protected species. We have animals that are on the verge of extinction. So when Mayor Riggs and Mr. Delaney so kindly said to me, we're going to do whatever we can do in our power to keep you here in town and maybe find you another location. As much as I appreciate that sentiment, there's a lot more that goes into if we have to move. We have animals that can potentially die from stress of a move, you know, and we like it where we are. And the thing is, the new developers, Snowball Developments, to this day have not given me any answers as to what's happening. And I've spoken to many people in the town and the council, and nobody seems to know anything that's going on in this property. So we have, I think, I don't even know how many buildings it is, 5 or 7 buildings that development company has come, purchased, and nobody has any intention or knows what their intention is. So our properties include the Wildlife Center, the home next to us, the residence, the cheer house, next level cheerleading, and Wherebest, the Siltex mill that has been there for many, many years. So Siltex told me they have 8 or 10 years on their lease, and the cheer house has at least 4 or 5 years left on their lease. And my question is, why was I not offered the same? And that's the only thing I'm looking for is an answer. And again, you know, I appreciate so much of the kind words that you all have shared with me, and the support and everybody that showed up tonight. I mean, you know, we don't want, I don't want to sound like a spoiled brat. I don't want to be, you know, it's not that. It's the difficulty and the enormous undertaking and traumatic, you know, amount of stress that could be on the animals if we have to leave that spot. Now, if we have to leave that spot, we have to leave that spot. But all I'm asking for, you know, is the support to maybe persuade Snowball Developments to leave our building alone and let us stay and hopefully let us stay at a rate that we can afford. You know, we have gotten a petition, actually, and within a week we have close to 2,500 signatures for people writing Snowball and asking that they let us stay in that location. And you know, I've done some pretty cool things at that location. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years with the education and the back programs. Without getting into politics, we did a program on CNN during the pandemic that I did with Anderson Cooper. We filmed it at Danner's Lake. I spoke at the Museum of Natural History in New York City, but I am most proud of this. We made it on the Garfield Council board. I will never be able to beat that. There we are right there. So we were really kind of distressed when it came to learning our fate or lack thereof, and the fact that I'm not getting any answers. I was told over a week ago by my new lawyer, who has been in touch with their lawyer, oh, they promised a face-to-face meeting with you regarding the future of your organization at that location by Snowball Developments in a few days as soon as they get back, and that was probably close to 10 days ago, 11 days ago. So we have not heard anything. Nobody I hears anything about what their plans are. I heard from one person, they said they have no intentions on kicking anybody out. The only thing we're looking for is just a little bit of support and any answers that we can get, and hopefully a way that we can remain in the community.
Joe, first of all, I was there just past Sunday. I go there, did the grand opening, and I'm a big proponent of the Bat Cave, or the Wildlife Center. And just so you know, and I say to everybody out there, and I speak on behalf of the council, how these developers work is that if they plan on developing a piece of property, so like right now, we haven't spoken. I haven't spoken to Snowball, and I have to believe that no one else here has spoken to the guy who runs Snowball, or the owner of Snowball. So no one's approached us or the city manager. So how these developers work when they come in and they're looking for a piece of property to develop, we have this discussion. They usually come in and they sit down and they kick the tires and they say, listen, I'm looking to purchase this piece of property. I'm looking to buy it at this price. Sure. If I get it at this price, I need to get this many floors, this many doors, or apartments, or whatever. Right. And if we give them the blessing, or we give them an okay, or we give them we're interested, but we got to talk about height, size, this and that, then, you know, there's a discussion usually going on. Am I correct? So no one has approached us about redevelopment anywhere on this weird best.
Yeah.
At all, especially Snowball. I never met the guy. The only thing I did, I Googled it like everybody else who Googled it and found out who they are. They never came to City Hall to at least to speak to any of us. I mean, I asked you guys, did anybody from this? Okay. So, you know, that's how that usually works. Right? If someone wants to build apartments, you know, because these are the things that we read about and we saw about and everything like that. So, in that aspect, I don't know anything about Snowball, but I will tell you that this past Saturday, I reached out to Tom Dutch, our former city manager. He did say that a while back that, and he didn't use Snowball. He said the guy from Riverwest was looking to sell it to someone, and then I just found out this prior Saturday, and he was looking for keeping everything the way it is. He's just looking to, I guess, piecemeal the factory. That's the town of it. Like, you know, have a bunch of different factories as opposed to, I think there's just one factory there, Warebest.
Right.
And that goes, but that was a few years back. That was a few years back, and that's the last they heard about it, and the town moved off. Because I told him about it, you know. I said, did anybody ever approach you prior? He said, well, a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So my approach was looking to piecemeal the pieces of Warebest together, just keep it as factories.
And that's what, you know, that's, I think the most disturbing part to me is that from day one, when I answered the ad for that rental space, Erwin Gassner, his manager, his property manager, all sat across from me and smiled in my face and said, we want a long-term tenant, you know, and not once in the 4 years that I've been here was there ever mention of them selling the properties. So I thought we were there forever. We negotiated a new lease, and then in January, all of a sudden, we get blindsided by this, rescinding of the lease. In 4 years, they never, ever told us they had intentions. Because think about it this way, we have close to 100 animals, If I was going to move them to a location and spend the kind of money that we spent expanding to a place that size, and believe me, we got a great deal. I mean, we really got a great deal, and I think they probably started to realize that too, that, hey, this guy got too good of a deal, but it's a fixer-upper, it's not the perfect building, there's things that are going wrong with it, there are things that need to get fixed that still haven't been fixed, and I have instructed my lawyer to proceed with a lawsuit against Erwin Gassner because of him knowingly allowing me to fix up that basement, and at the same time knowing he sold the properties. That was pretty bad. I mean, you can't tell me that's anywhere near legal. So basically, I fixed up the lower level for him to sell. That's where, would really hit us hard. And again, think about us at the beginning. We uprooted, close to 100 different animals and brought them to a location. If I thought that location ever had an intention of selling, I would have never signed the lease there. But they looked me in the eye, they said, we want a long-term tenant, and I said, I'm here, let's do this. So this is nothing that's the city's fault. I'm so thankful you're giving me a chance to speak, and I'm glad to finally see you all face to face. We've only seen each other, I think, on Facebook, so it's nice to meet you all, and thank you guys for listening to me. And we appreciate, any consideration. If you hear anything, please let us know. Our lease is up in April, and like I said, we're not a shoe store. I can't pack these animals up and leave when they decide. Snowball decides to tell me, literally when you think about it, my lease is up in April, and they could just wait it out. April tell me, yeah, sorry, we're not going to redo it. Then, we're in a bad place. So I basically have two choices. Play hardball and wait for them to take me to court, have them evict me that way, or find a new location. I'm also going to give them a couple more days because I reached out to Snowball today. I got an answering service. I reached out to them today. I said I know I was promised a face-to-face about our future there, and I'd like a phone call back as soon as possible. So I'm going to give it a few more days, and then I guess we're going to have to really figure out what our next step is going to be.
Well, one, I think that you guys are part of Garfield and our community. You do a lot of good things for the city of Garfield. You have your back walks.
We just got started. We didn't even get a chance to do everything we wanted to do.
No,
Mayor Riggs, I know he speaks the truth when he looks me in the eye and tells me these things because he personally has taken stacks of our flyers and hand-delivered them to his schools, libraries, to the YMCA, to the Boys and Girls Club, all those places, and I can't thank you enough. And I want to be a bigger part of the community. I want to be a part of the fireworks. I want to be a part of the city.
We want you to be part of the world. We want people to come from outside of Garfield. That's the whole thing about the vision of Garfield is, people from the outside, the other towns coming into Garfield for a reason, for a purpose, not just driving through to get to a highway, to come shop, dine, eat, visit, and you're part of the visit part. Let's go. I actually heard from my cousin who lives in Bergenfield, who's a big fan of, the Wildlife Center and everything like that. So she signed the petition as well.
Well, I looked at the petition, and the petition has signatures from here to Australia. And I was we've gone international, like I said, putting politics aside. When we did that CNN documentary, our social media blew up, my phone blew up, and we get new visitors through the doors every weekend, even with the pandemic. And guess what? Who could have worse luck than me? I run a business that's attached to the animal that was attached to the pandemic. So everybody figured me out. They were like, he's done.
And we did, Deputy Mayor and I, we did Facebook Live.
We did the Facebook Live. So I was biting my fingernails when every other business was when we reopened to the public. And we have been busier than ever. Birthday parties have come back. And when people book their birthday parties by us, they usually get the catering done by Pizza Mania or other local pizza parlors. So there is truth to the fact that, us being here brings other people in. Whenever they come in, we had a family come in from, I think they came in from Chicago last weekend. And they came in, they stayed for the weekend, and they said, "Do you have any places to eat?" So we'd really like to stay. Everybody's been wonderful to us, and I hope we can. Otherwise, I'm bringing all the animals to your house.
I can tell you that when I got the COVID and my wife threw me out of the house and I had to stay at the, no, not the holiday. I thought you were redundant. No, the right hotel south, but what was that? The, Crown Plaza. There's a brochure of a Batcave to visit. I don't know if you know that.
I think we used to do there's a convention that I'm involved in every year, the Chiller Theater Convention.
Oh, okay.
And they used to have it there.
All right.
And our brochures were there. They were everywhere. There's been a lot of love. The press has done amazing things for us. I've had more coverage than I think, most people. And sometimes people ask me, are they out of stories? Why do you keep winding up on the cover of the Record or the Times or Post, whatever? We're a human interest story, and I have not gone to the media yet. I want to talk to Snowball first, but I don't think it's going to be in their best interest to be throwing out an animal sanctuary, which we are, and in the times of the pandemic. I don't think it's going to look very good for them in the media.
And I don't think it'll look good because I'm going to speak on my behalf, is that I'll do what I can to keep you involved. Whatever they want to do there, they should just leave that alone. And so be it. I mean, we haven't spoken to the pandemic. Maybe, I don't know who you're talking to, but maybe we could reach out to them. Maybe there could be a sit down, some type of compromise. There's very few things in the city of Garfield that people come to right now. And it is a unique thing. And we want people to come to the city of Garfield for those things. I mean, what are you going to get a whole interaction, play around with a snake, pet a skunk?
We've had
but these are the things that
we need. Yeah. I think every community needs some kind of enrichment. It can't be all business, We want our kids. I grew up with petting zoos and being able to interact with animals, and things have gotten so, so tight and politically correct that you can't do these things anymore. You're always afraid of getting sued and things like that. But I wanted to offer something that kids don't usually get at a big metropolitan zoo. And I understand, I think, more than anybody, because of how I moved around a lot when I was younger, I understand the need for a city to grow and to develop. I totally understand that. I just hope that the little guy doesn't always get pushed out.
Well, I'll ask our attorney and our city manager. Maybe we can pass a resolution to try to keep them in the city of Garfield. And maybe that, when we sit down at the table and talk to, Snowball, we could be part of this conversation. Because, when they see that the city manager, the mayor, and the council, the city's behind it, maybe, if he wants anything that's favorable to do on that piece of property, he needs our assistance. And, for your little, not to knock it, it's only a 30 by 120 lot or something like that. It's not the biggest lot in the world, but what you do with it is amazing. And that's the most fun. It's not the size. So for them to, for them to be messing around with what's good for the city, they have to attraction. So, if you could look into that, figure out a resolution, and then he see that when you set the table, he has a support of the 5 to 6 to 7 of us.
Yeah, it's just like the biggest issue was just not getting the answers. It's almost like calling and speaking with with an answering machine, and they just will not give me any answers. And that to me gave me the feeling like they're just letting the clock tick down on my lease, so they can then just say bye, without any obligations. With the Cheer House, and where best into the silk factory. If they wanted them gone, they have to wait 5 to 8 years, or they could buy them out. With me, unfortunately, I only have to leave it, so it's pretty easy with me. But with your support, and maybe we could, come up with a solution. And I would be extremely grateful, and I'm just grateful for the time I had here tonight. So
Appreciate you coming by, that's all you ask. Bobby, you can get the contact information, you guys can touch base, and we can figure something out.
I'm not sure, but my attorney can give you that information. Her name is Gina Campanella, and she's from Paramus, Campanella Law. And she actually told me she knew him, and he was a very reasonable man, and that's the one who promised me within a few days I'd have a face-to-face, and again, over a week later, so I'd just like to get some answers. I'll be honest with you, I'm the guy, I'm an honest guy. I take people at what they tell me, and I would rather him say to me, Joe, our plans are, we want to put up blah, blah, blah. So we don't want to keep you here. I'd rather have him tell me that, and then rather than that, and then drag me along to the end of April, and then all of a sudden I have 100 animals I have to find places for.
You don't want to be kept in the dark.
Exactly. I'd rather them be honest with me and tell me, you know what, you should probably find a place, and I'll start looking. But 6 months is not a lot of time. It took 6 months to build, here, and we're just dead now because I put all of the plans on the lower level. I put it on hold because who would spend another dime if you didn't know if you were going to be staying there? So that's where we're at. So thank you all.
Bob, maybe we can get a resolution for the next meeting or the first meeting in October. Okay.
We like October. It's a good one for us.
Yes,
Sure. 201 257 2231.
Each say it again.
Joseph D'Angeli. D'Angeli.
It's a great place to visit on Goose Night or Halloween Eve and Halloween. It's really.
We have 50 bats. We have 12 plus tarantulas. We have probably 40 or 50 snakes. We win Halloween.
A couple of sloths.
We do. We have 2 little sloths. Yeah.
First girlfriend. My wife was sleeping around.
Well, we were able to obtain the sloths and the miniature kangaroo, the wallaby, and 2 armadillos during the pandemic. So this was another thing that was very upsetting. We were shut down for 9 months with no income because we were not deemed essential business. 9 months I paid Erwin Gassner every dime for 9 months with 0 income, and this is the thanks I get. So, we got hurt pretty badly, and I'm not a guy who usually, admits hurt, but he hurt us.
Well, you stood behind us, and now's time for us to stand behind you. Hopefully, we could get this
Thank you.
resigned the right way.
And we appreciate everything that you do for the community. I have come from places where, for 8 years we were in Richfield Park, and at the 8th year, before we were leaving, I had people coming in from Richfield Park saying, I never knew you were here. Now, we do get that occasionally here in Garfield, but I think that's because I don't really do a lot of advertising because I don't have to. We have a following, people come, and they find out, and they Google us, but if we stay, we're going to blast. Nobody will know we're not here. Let's put it that way. Before the pandemic, a friend of mine gave me 2,000 free mailers to mail out to everybody in the community, plus whatever. I don't know how many people are in Garfield, but it's probably more than 2,000, I think. So we have to get a few more. But he gave it to me for free out of the goodness of his heart. And then boom, the pandemic hit, and I have a stack of mailers on my card, so on my desk. So hopefully we have some good news, and I hope we can have a great October without having to worry about leaving. So, anyway, thank you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you guys for doing such a great job for the community, and best of luck with your new position.
Thank you very
Your
much.
new position. So, I'm not,
You have my support, and our city attorney will reach out to both you, perhaps your attorney, and hopefully set up a meeting and do what we can to help you.
thank you guys, thank you. Mayor,
Thank you.
thank you again, thank you.